Greetings. It's your brother BA out of Sacramento, California.
Hotep, it's your brother Eric the Red out of Colorado.
Brother Free Flow from Brother.
Okay. And right now we're going to bring a platform where we're going to discuss the difference between the left and the right. Others may know them as liberal or conservative, and others may also know them as Democrat or Republican. Is there an actual difference? Is it a charade? Is it a con? What is it truly? And I think we have liberals and conservatives in Europe as well. Do we, brother, on Free Flow?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to have you here on this platform to explain from what you see, and if are there any similarities compared to what's going on out here in the United States, or the United Corporation of America? I like to say.
Well, at least in Germany, you have a typical similarity that our well, the thing is, we don't directly have a conservative party. The party that really acts conservative here would be the CDU, the Christian Democratic Union, and they are, of course, very conservative. Well, not very, but pretty conservative. From all parties you have in Germany, this party is definitely the most conservative of all. Anyway, the similarity is, you have a conservative party, the CDU, and you have a liberal party, the FDP. And they both tend to be very, very similar. In fact, they even made a union a few years ago. So yeah, the CDU and the FDP are unionized. They formed one union together. So yeah, they're pretty much similar to each other, and their policies are very much the same. In fact, there's no real difference. Also, the CDU calls itself Christian Democratic Union, but by today, the CDU has like nothing to do with Christianity at all. Well, rarely, but it's mainly capitalism, free market system, and conservatism. That's what this party is mainly about. I mean, Christianity is absolutely not on the agenda at all.
Yeah, you know what our parties are about? Greed, 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 and greed. Capitalism. That's it, man.
Yeah, capitalism, conservatism. Yeah,
It's a two
exactly.
it's a two-headed beast, and it's something that needs to be addressed.
But yeah, it's pretty funny that in Germany the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party together formed a union.
Yeah. Wow, that's retarded.
Yeah, it is. Well, at least in Germany, liberals and conservatives are not, the typical enemies like in America. In America, they are typical enemies. Here in Europe, or at least in Germany, they're actually allies.
Yeah. But yeah, man. The other day I was at a friend's work, and this lady in there said that we need to have Jeb Bush as our next president.
Oh yeah, my God, yeah.
She's a complete conservative, and I was just like, oh my god, like seriously, like didn't we already have two of those assholes? Like,
Yeah,
it,
exactly. And I mean, they messed up big time. They didn't only mess up; they messed up big time.
yeah,
And I mean, come on, you have Bush Senior, then you have Bush Junior, and now you want to put in the next Bush? Why? For what reason? Because he's
yeah.
a Bush?
If
Because
he
he's
gets
like
in,
from a
man,
noble family or so?
if he gets in, I'm
Seriously,
leaving.
seriously, what? Seriously, this is starting to become a monarchy. This is
Yeah,
starting to behave like a monarchy,
yeah.
and I find this.
Exactly.
And
I
people,
find this.
and you know the percentage of people that are gonna vote for him just because of the name. Like they don't even know.
Yeah,
They're just like, oh, he was a president. His brother was a president, and his dad was a president. Okay, I'm gonna vote for him because my parents like him, so I'm gonna vote for him. You know, it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Well, I'm gonna vote for him because I like Bush, and he's Bush, and
Oh,
he's
oh, that's another
after. Yeah,
thing. That's another thing. Then you have the people who are actually going to vote for him just for being a conservative. So I'm thinking that there's a good chance that he might become president. And I'm really like worried about that. Like, if that happens, bro, I'm moving to Canada or someplace. I'm out of here. Peace. Like, shit.
Well, I don't doubt it. I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't like to live in America under Bush, Craig Bush. Definitely not.
Yeah, another corrupt
On the other
asshole.
hand, I wouldn't like to live in America anyway because, yeah, for obvious reasons, but yeah.
What you trying to say, bro? No, I'm just no.
See, the thing is that the problem is in America, it's very common, is that the so-called populace, the general populace, the 99% rather, a good portion of them don't even know how to even, how should I say it? Let me see. Okay. Most of the people in America don't even realize who their enemy is. That's the problem, number one.
True.
American society has been dumbed down tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
It's a damn shame to be perfectly honest. I mean, to be honest, it's just shame. It's a shame. They do not realize who their enemy is. They don't.
Yeah, and it's especially the education system in America's case is really a shame. I mean, the German education system and the German OECD scoring is definitely not the best. At least for first world standards, it's not the best. But seriously, America's position in the OECD is just shameful. America is a first world nation. They are ranked between first world and second world, although they are first world. So yeah, as I said, for a first world nation, this result is shaming. It's shameful.
Are you guys talking about the schooling?
Yeah, this is the land where you can get entertained, but when it comes to education, you can throw it out the window.
Yeah, absolutely zero.
Nowadays, yeah, nowadays it's about being a celebrity. Um, and the political platform here in America has they have applied that as well. It's all about being a guy on the television and looking good and like when Obama had not his inauguration, but when he got reelected, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but did you notice that I guess his little, I mean, after the president wins, I guess they had a little banquet or some type of little party. And the media that whole day was talking about, look how much the president's wife dress cost. Oh, she looks so beautiful.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
it was just, oh, I mean, it was just like, are you serious? And they're just playing it all over the television. Like it's just it's a big party. A whole bunch of celebrities came. Oh man, you should have saw it. It was off the hook. It was an embarrassment that the country right now is going to hell in the handbasket economically, and all you guys can sit here and just elaborate and just
Talk
drool
talk about a
over
fucking
how
dress.
much the president's yeah and drool over what the president's tuxedo and his with his wife's dress cost.
That's crazy.
Are you serious?
I mean, well, I mean, yeah. Why does it even matter what his wife's dress costs? Shouldn't it actually be more important what his views are? You know, what his policies are, his views, his ideology? Shouldn't that be more important than sorry, but what dress his fucking wife wears?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, you would think that his ideology and his views are important, but
Yeah,
we
you
live
would
in
think.
America. We live in America, man. You can't put nothing past this system. I mean, seriously, man. If it ain't one thing about this system here, it's something else. It's mind-boggling, and the people, especially in the black community, and I hate to bring race into it, but for some reason, the people who I've dealt with on a day-to-day basis, and other people, for some reason, they actually think that Barack Obama is their friend because he appears to look like them.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it really, really, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
it
Ignore
really just
the.
irks me.
Yeah, ignore the drone strikes. Ignore everything else. He looks like you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also
Yeah,
ignore,
yeah.
also ignore that he hasn't improved your situation or anything. But yeah, he looks like you. So yeah.
it's all
Yeah,
good. It's all good.
and that's the problem, and that's the problem. That is how simple that the American public has gotten, or that's how simple it is. It, it's a shame. It really is.
Ah.
It's sad. it's sad and it's funny, but at the same time, it's just overly sad because now all of a sudden you have people who know the system is corrupt or rigged. Now all of a sudden people have accepted corruption. They have
Yeah,
accepted it without even
that's
saying yes.
and that's sad. You know, I forgot the exact quote, but it goes something like that. You know, the worst, the only thing that is even worse than being imprisoned or having a lack of freedom, the only thing that is even worse than that is either accepting that you have no freedoms or whatever, or even worse, that you don't know or don't realize that you are imprisoned or caged. This is the worst kind of imprisonment. And an imprisonment
It is.
where you don't even notice or realize that you are imprisoned. Or you do, but like, oh yeah, I don't give a fuck. Or you're just too scared to stand up or whatever. That's the worst kind
See,
of
and that's
prison.
no,
And
I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. Go ahead.
I forgot who said that, but I'd say this quote is definitely true. This is the worst prison you can build, or the worst prison you can have.
Yeah,
I'd
most
say a
definitely.
prison where you don't even
And you know
realize
what?
that you're in prison.
Yeah, see, and you know what? I understand that there are people out there going on, but one thing I know that in America, a lot of people know that their government is up to no good. They
Exactly.
know it, and, and they refuse to address it. They
Yeah.
refuse.
And instead of addressing the problem, capitalism, they blame it all on socialism that doesn't even exist in America.
Yeah, yeah. They're like,
You know,
oh, it's
that's
the
like the
communists.
best part of it.
It's the communists.
Yeah, that never fucking existed in America in the first place. Awful.
Well, there was some communists back in the day, and some
Well,
socialist
yeah,
parties.
they have
That
existed, but I meant that they have never been in power.
no,
They
of
have never
course,
been in
you're
power. They
right.
have never made they were always just too small to have any influence.
Yeah, very true.
So how the fuck can socialism or communism be responsible for what's happening? How the fuck? When socialism and communism don't even have influence in America at all.
No, understandable. I mean, it's not anybody's fault. They always want to blame people. The only people we can blame is capitalists.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
we can point our finger at Wall Street and say, "Hey, that's where the problem lies."
And
That golden bull that everybody worships on Wall Street.
yeah, and the best part is this is definitely true. I mean, there is the problem. Wall Street. There is the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, instead of pursuing this problem, people instead fight an enemy that doesn't exist in their country, which would, in their case, be socialism. But socialism doesn't even exist in America.
No, it doesn't.
So how can you fight something that isn't even there?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. They're not fighting the real enemy, which would be the Wall Street, the bourgeoisie, the elites. No, instead they fight non-existent socialists. Yeah, seriously, talking BS on that one.
Yeah.
I smell some serious BS here.
Yeah, definitely. It's really messed up how we believe that we can put our faith in one party and everything will be fixed, and that we constantly are duped and constantly believe that this next president is going to actually do what the fuck he says he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, true. How many times have Americans believed, oh, with the next president, everything is going to change? And what happened? Nothing changed. It
Absolutely
only got
nothing.
worse.
Yeah, absolutely nothing changes.
It would never change unless, let's
The
be honest,
system changed. Yeah, the system must
this,
change.
the system that we're currently under, there is no plan to change it. As you can see that the conditions here are getting worse and worse and worse. And now, what do? Like, you have your liberals and you have your conservatives. So one side is saying this, the other side is saying that. As
Yeah,
far
but you
as
know what
this system,
you know what the joke is? As soon as it comes to elections or to actually no votes in the parliament, they all vote the same. That's another fascinating
yeah,
thing, you know. They sing different tunes, but when it comes to votes and decisions, they all decide the same.
yeah. So how is it that us having this discussion right now, for those who are listening to it on YouTube or who are on the other outlets, what is it about liberals and conservatives that we can expose that will help wake people up? Because for some reason they still think that this two-party dictatorship is the way out, and it's not.
There is no such thing as two parties. There is no such thing as two parties. There's only one
Uh-huh.
party. It's the Democratic Party. There's no such thing as two parties. There's only one party, and that's the Democratic Party. That's the capitalist party, and that's the only party that exists in this country is capitalism.
Actually, I would pretty much agree, yeah.
Yeah, I understand capitalism. No,
Oh,
I'd agree, but see, a lot of people are not aware. Capitalism is the main reason why these two parties are prosperous. So, right now we're under the illusion.
hello?
Yeah, you're cutting out there, buddy. All right. Well, hopefully he'll come.
Well,
He'll come right back. And
yeah, just have to wait a bit.
yeah, no worries.
Well, let's say it's not the first time that this happens.
Yeah, of course. But
Yeah, well, welcome to America. Shitty connections, obviously.
yeah, and
Well, the
it's
thing
sad.
is, I remember. What?
Americans work towards another Friday. That's all they work towards is a Friday, so I can get drunk and forget about my week. And that's all they focus on. They don't focus on anything further down the road. And so
True.
and
You know
so
what? This is also a typical symptom of capitalism too.
yeah. So when
The businesses in capitalism, they all calculate for 1 year. Their whole calculation is based on one single only factor, and this factor is that at the end of the year there's more profit than last year. That's the only motive. They don't even think about what would eventually be like in 10 years or so. Oh, what does it concern me, 10 years? I'm just concerned about now and my profit this year. Everything else, how I give a about it. But yeah, that's the typical attitude of capitalism.
yeah.
And you even have this in businesses. You know, they don't plan for the future. They only plan for the current year. And that's it. There's absolutely no plan for the future.
No, there is no plan for the future. They just want to make money off of the workers, and that's all they can do.
Exactly. And they're going to make money of the workers in the, as said, in the year. They calculate for 1 year, as I said. And they calculate it so that at the end of the year, they have more profits than last year.
Yeah.
And this cycle continues endlessly. And yeah, pretty fitting, since we have New Year, you can be sure that by tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, that a lot of politicians, sorry, not politicians, a lot of CEO, businessmen, and economics will be already planning for the upcoming year. Well, actually, I think they already planned before Christmas. They probably have had that planned out before Christmas anyway. But yeah,
You know what my New Year's resolution is?
what?
Is to fight capitalism in every way that I can, and
Shoot.
that means not buying Nikes, not buying Adidas, not buying the North Face, none of that shit, nothing that the third world country people have to make in the sweatshops. I'm not going to do any of that, and I think that
Exactly.
all of our listeners should do
Well,
that with us.
exactly. And well, you know what? The only good thing The only pro is about being poor. The thing is, if you're poor as me, you can't afford Nike or Adidas or Puma. You simply can't afford it. So yeah.
But they want you to strive to afford that, don't they?
What? Sorry.
They want you to strive to afford that.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Of course they want, because this means profit for them. For them, this means profit. And yeah, of course, that's why they want you to strive, to work harder, or put more into the GDP, gross domestic product, to simply be able to buy the stuff so that they can make profit.
Yeah.
And well, oh yeah, you can see this really especially in America. The thing is, in America, from what I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I saw this in documentation, that it's pretty common in America to have dozens of credit cards and just to make dozens of debts. And like once you make debts, you go to another institute and lend yourself more money to pay off the existing debt and to live for a while. And once that runs out, you just go to the next. Yeah. Basically, the documentation says that's what quite a lot of poor people do. They just have tons of credit cards and, lend themselves tons of money, which they will, of course, never be able to pay back. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that we pretty much covered everything on that subject right now. So let's go ahead and end this episode. I want to say happy.
Well, no. Oh,
Oh, don't worry about that.
okay. Well, not really. Because, yeah, the thing is, SBA said things to expose the liberals and the conservatives. Well, this is talking about liberals here, but just today we had a very interesting discussion on in nation states on socialist communist forum board, and this was when I realized, you know what, how you can expose at least liberalism actually very easily. The thing is, liberalism. Liberalism is a word that sounds good on paper. Say liberalism, it sounds good because liberal, freedom, yeah, sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, liberation. Yeah, that sounds great.
Of course it sounds great. But the problem with liberalism as a political ideology is that it's actually far away from freedom. The only freedom in liberalism is the freedom of the bourgeoisie, of the business owners. They are free to decide whatever they want as long as they stick to the laws. And that's how a liberalist system works. A liberal system is actually pretty close to anarchy. The actual only difference to anarchy is that liberalism has a state and has laws. But apart from that, it's basically the same as anarchism.
Can you elaborate on why it's close to anarchism?
Because it simply has every other trait that anarchism has. And this trait is anything goes.
True.
However, as I said, the only difference is that in liberalism you have a state, whilst anarchists are totally against the state. Anarchism in general rejects the state in any form.
Yeah.
Well,
this-
liberalists see the state as a garant of freedom, whilst anarchists say freedom can only be achieved by abolishing states.
Yeah.
So yeah, as said, liberalism says freedom can only be achieved by having a state.
Yeah. Well, let's say
And
let's do another
anyway,
show tomorrow.
anyway, let's get to the point. The point is that, as said, in liberalism, you can do whatever you want as long as you stick to the laws. The only thing as a business owner, imagine yourself as a business owner. The only thing you have to do is stick to your local laws. So that means you can exploit your workers as much as you want. You can use any dirty, nasty trick, as long as it is as it is conform with the law. So as long as you're not breaking any laws, you can exploit your workers as you want.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. That's utter
Exactly,
bullshit.
and that's why I said that's why liberalism, the only freedom in liberalism is the freedom of the bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
Let me ask, especially Americans, let me ask you, where is your liberty? Where is your freedom?
Um,
Hell, in at least 13 states in America, anal sex is banned. Banned. And I'm not kidding here.
No,
I
that's very
read this,
true.
and this is really true.
Yeah.
In at least 13 states, you are not allowed to have anal sex. So much for freedom. How come that in a system like liberalism, things like anal sex are banned? This is the exact opposite of freedom. And that's
Yeah.
the point.
And,
Because liberalism is the freedom of the
and
bourgeoisie.
let me tell you this.
And it's the bourgeoisie that decide the laws.
You go to
They
Sicily.
decide. They have freedoms.
Yeah. Let me tell
You,
you.
as a citizen, you don't.
Let me
You
tell you
have no
this.
freedoms at all.
You go to Sicily, you can shoot a gun anywhere. You go out, not in public, obviously, but you can go out in the field and shoot a gun somewhere.
Yeah.
And but here in America, if you shoot a gun in the mountains, you get you go to jail.
What? I
Yeah.
thought guns were. What the?
No. You can have guns, but it's just they don't want you to use them ever. I mean, you can hunt.
Wow.
You can hunt during hunting season, and that's about it.
Then,
Yeah.
what fucking sense does it even make? I mean, most people say, most especially conservative.
So they
liberals,
basically they want us to stockpile weapons. That's basically what it seems like. You know what I mean? It's like okay, you can have a gun, but you can't use it. So okay, let me just use it to defend my house. Let me get another gun, defend my house. Get another gun, and then you got people stockpiling guns, and then you wonder why these kids go to school and shoot up the schools because their parents have so many fucking guns.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I mean, as I said, what sense does it make? I mean, the typical argument of pro-gun, people that are pro-guns. The typical argument is, oh, it helps you to protect yourself from criminals and from attackers.
Yeah.
Well, bullshit. If you're not even allowed to use them, not even when you're attacked, obviously, then what fucking sense does it even make to have a fucking gun?
Yeah.
Or have these laws? It's bullshit.
Yeah. It is bullshit. So let's go ahead and end this show, Chris.
Yeah. But
And
anyway.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, and yeah, what I was about to say, as I said, liberalism sounds very nice on paper. But yeah, by now we have analyzed what liberalism is and how it works. And according to that, liberalism, you can call liberalism either a plutocracy or a, what did I call it? This was very fitting.
The left head of the monster, of the two-headed beast.
This would be more like both heads, or yeah, no, this would be like the left head, but yeah. Why the fuck can't I remember this right now? Absolute capitalism, no. Come on, I'm not that old. I'm not at the age to have Alzheimer yet. Okay, I should have wrote that down, obviously. 1 second.
You want to save it for the next show?
Maybe. Okay, this is obviously in the older. Come on. Okay, if this doesn't work out, then it should be here somewhere. Is this fucking post that old? Yep, it definitely is. Whoa. Ah, yeah. Man, I'm a goddamn idiot, yeah. Anyway, as I said, liberalism is basically nothing else than plutocracy and plutocratism. The only difference is that you don't have monarchs in here, but it's still a plutocratic system.
True. I would agree
Or
with
you
that.
could also call it anarchism of the bourgeoisie, because that is basically what liberalism is too. It's an anarchy of the bourgeoisie, of the elites. And yeah, and my point was, you know, if you analyze what liberalism is, and then say what it actually is, anarchism of the bourgeoisie, or plutocracy, it suddenly doesn't sound so nice anymore, does it?
No.
You know, as I said, liberalism sounds nice on paper, but yeah, once you actually analyze what it is, and say what it is, anarchism of the bourgeoisie, it suddenly doesn't sound so nice anymore.
No.
And this is a good example of how brainwashed people are, and how America really has brainwashed their citizens and even the whole Western world into believing that liberalism equals freedom, which it absolutely doesn't. As I said, the only freedom in liberalism is the freedom of the bourgeoisie. Literally like an anarchy of the bourgeoisie. Well, maybe not exactly. This would be anarcho-capitalism. But plutocracy, definitely.
Yeah, most
Liberalism is
definitely.
definitely a plutocracy. It is a plutocratic system.
Well, I
It is
gotta.
based on profit, on capitalism, and it is based on the mere fact that the more you have, the bigger your chances of success, or yeah, of success.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, let's do another video here in a minute.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because BA is trying to call me,
Ah, okay.
so I want to end this
Well,
one.
I was finished anyway, so yeah, sorry for taking so much
Oh
time.
no, no, most definitely, man. Everything you had to say was very valid, and I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody out there.
Same here. Happy New Year to you all.
Yeah. All right, that was a great show, man. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening.
Peace.